I started the FitFishMom blog, basically just releasing a new 15-minute at-home body weight workout for busy moms. That was my target. So as I'm giving this to everybody else, they're like, wow, we've never really just used body weight and been able to get results like this. This is great. So I did one every single day, Monday through Friday, and that's all I did for a while and got this huge following.
Hey everyone, you're watching the Lively Charleston Podcast. Our goal with the show is to interact with and tell the stories of the amazing people, places, and businesses that make Charleston the best city in the world.
If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to iTunes, Spotify, and YouTube.
And check us out on Instagram and Facebook, where we post content regularly throughout the week. Thanks so much, guys. Hope you enjoy the episode.
Today's guest is someone I had the opportunity to meet randomly at a local restaurant here in town. I started following her on Instagram and was instantly impressed, somewhat obsessed with her content and the message that she drives home to her massive following. She has a full-time job in the medical sales profession. She is a proud mother of 2 boys, a devoted wife, and to round things out, because I'm sure she has tons of time on her hands, she is the creator of her very own fitness app, Get Salty, and is known as FitFishMom. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce to you Jenny Fisher.
That was a hell of an intro. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
No, absolutely. I try to go big. Tom Bilyeu is like the guy I try to emulate podcast wise. Yeah, he's my guy.
Good PR.
Yeah, for sure. So, what were your biggest inspirations growing up? Was it your parents? Any like sports figure? Anybody like that? Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, I had 2 amazing parents that both set me up with just good values. You know, I've got 3 siblings, and I always go back to who did I want to be like the most, and it was always my older sister. She was 9 years older than me. She is 9 years older than me. And it seemed like everything that she tried, I wanted to do that. And, she did Q1ettes. I wanted to do Q1ettes. She did cheerleading. She did all the things, and I ended up doing those things, and it was probably in college that I actually looked back retrospectively and realized that. But, I mean, my sister is an amazing person. Her moral ethic, integrity, everything is amazing. She's an amazing mother, but she's the reason why I got into competitive cheerleading and pushed myself into soccer and ended up being, at the time, one of the top cheerleaders in the region. So, which she was not. I was always more athletic than her, but if it wasn't for her, I would have never discovered that.
You never crossed that bridge, right?
Yeah.
I, too, have a sister. She's younger than me, and 4 years younger, and she was a national champion cheerleader.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. There's so many different associations now.
Yeah, it's kind of blown up.
Yeah.
Since I was in the game, it was kind of 2 or 3 major competitions when I was there, but I have multiple national championships, and then I've got a couple of individual titles as well.
Really? Mm-hmm. I didn't know. Yeah, back in the day.
This is 25 years ago.
Yeah, no, but still, I have to say that some of the best athletes are gymnasts / cheerleaders.
Absolutely.
And it was so funny. I mean, it wasn't funny. It was kind of tragic when you think about it. But here we are. We were the football team, and, the cheerleaders were getting hurt more than the football players were. Yeah. I mean, you would see cheerleaders hobbling around the hallways
and I think
more
that,
than the football
players.
players.
Happens to this day. And I'm not saying to stop doing what they're doing, because what they do is amazing. But sometimes you get some young girls that are like, hey, let's try this. And you don't have the safety apparatuses around, and sometimes you don't have the greatest coaches to teach you those techniques to get to that level. And people just try things, and they end up hurt. I remember, so I danced in college at NC State. Okay. And the cheerleaders would leave practice right next to us, iced up completely from head to toe. Elbows, knees, everything iced up. And we're just like, okay, bye. We're going to go work out more. I don't know. So, there was definitely some injuries in that sport.
Yeah. Yeah, most definitely. I mean, all the gymnastics that they do and all that. So you did cheerleading, but then ended up dance team.
Yes.
Okay, got that.
I wasn't light enough to be. NC State's very competitive, and I was like a brick house coming in. So I ended up doing dance team, and that was extremely athletic at NC State. So I loved it.
Yep. Oh, that's fantastic. So you have that background. You said you played a little soccer as well. So from what I get, like when I watch your videos that you put out in your Instagram, is like a lot of this movement, just get moving, right?
Yeah.
Can you tell me more about that and like what, just like your people that you're reaching out to?
Yeah. I started the FitFishMom blog, basically just releasing a new 15-minute at-home body weight workout for busy moms. That was my target. Let me just give them something quick that they can do at home. You know, if they're cooking, they can do it in their kitchen. So I did one every single day, Monday through Friday, and that's all I did for a while and got this huge following. People were like, these are great. And all it was just move. And it was unique movements that weren't complicated. Anybody could do it, but it kind of made it a little more fun than just doing a push-up or just doing a crunch. And the whole thing that I base my own fitness on is functionality. You know, I'm not going to do a sit-up, but I might do a Marvin Hagler where I'm using my hip flexors to pull in while I'm twisting or something like that. So that was the way I train. So as I'm giving this to everybody else, they're like, wow, we've never really just used body weight and been able to get results like this. This is great. So yeah, that was my mentality of, I just want these busy moms that think that they don't have time to work out to give them some kind of inspiration that, okay, maybe I can just do 5 minutes real quick. And it grew from that. And that's exactly what people were giving me back is, well, I haven't moved in 5 years and I finally did one of your workouts. I'm so thankful for that.
Yeah.
And then the reason why I started the app and got into like full length training is honestly, it was a COVID quarantine gift. I was at home and I had just been featured in Strong Fitness magazine, and they reached out and said, hey, do you want to maybe train for us on Instagram Live? And I said, yeah, that'd be great. So I started doing that at home and realized I was really good at it. I got a lot of really good feedback. So in my mind now, I'm like, maybe I have a calling to do this. So yeah, that's how all of that progressed.
Right. I know that you or what I've seen is that you self-professed, like you go out and get what you want.
Yeah.
Like you believe in like making things happen, right? And we do that here at Lively Charleston. What we do, I mean, we're always constantly helping our team and teammates. Like if you want anything, you have to create it yourself. It's just not going to come and smack you in the face one day.
That's true.
And I think I saw a story where like that's how you met your husband.
Yeah.
You went out and got what you wanted.
I met my husband because I just had a random conversation with my sweet mate, and she's like, you don't have a boyfriend, are you looking? And I was like, I'll find a football player. That's what I want. It just was such a flippant comment. She goes, oh, actually, I know a guy who lives in this dorm, good looking guy. He'd be great for you. He's on the football team at NC State. And I was like, really? What dorm, what room, what suite? She told me. So I just bebopped my way in there one day and I knocked on the door. Is Jonathan here? And they're like, who is this chick? But he comes out and obviously we hit it off. But I have that. I have that in me where if I want something, I'm going to do it. However, I also am the type that if I kind of go a little bit with the current. Mm-hmm. So I'm not gonna go against the current. I'm gonna go with the current, but I'm still gonna navigate, if that makes sense. Right. Yeah.
No, I get that because some people like get a high almost about going against the grain. Yeah. Sometimes, not me either. I'm just
It's expending an energy that you don't need to.
Right. Yeah. Just go with the current and enjoy the ride a little bit, but know when those opportunities come out.
Know when to paddle harder. Yeah, man. Yep. For sure.
Absolutely. So, honestly, guys, back. I'm not going to focus on your husband too much, but guys, when I met her at the restaurant, right, and I'm sitting there, and my date and I were having a nice time, and they literally walk in, and it's like a Hollywood couple kind of walking in. It was kind of ridiculous. Record scratch, like. Like, Little John comes in all like, okay.
I'm not trying to laugh that hard because you're not going to want to hear my laugh on this microphone. But that's funny because we sat down. I have this like gravitation towards just positive, upbeat women. Mm-hmm. And there was something about the energy of your date that she was putting off. And I was like, I've got to figure out how to talk to her because her energy is so cool. Yeah. So it was very, very cool to meet you guys there. And just that, I don't know, that was really a neat introduction to you guys.
Yeah, I thought it was like a neat kind of thing, the interaction that happened too. And I was just like, And she said that you all kind of like reached out Instagram or something like that.
She invited me to a yoga class. I was like, I'm trying it. I'm gonna do it. But that's the thing about Charleston is people are just down to meet other people. Every time I go to a restaurant, as long as you seem open to talk to people, they will reach out to you, and it's such a cool community that way. Yeah. No,
I completely agree. I like all our real estate clients and things like that. They're just like, what is it about Charleston that is everybody's so friendly, and we're just like, we're all just really happy to be here.
We're so happy to be here. This is the city, man. I'm telling you.
Love it. Love it. I mean, we have great food, tons of things to do activity-wise outside.
Yep.
I mean, just everything for the kids, the park system. I mean,
listen, with diet, everybody asks me about diet. Well, what do you eat? And I'm like, well, I eat 80 to 90% plants because plants, they're just good for you, right? They give you all the things you need. I said, but I cannot cut out meat completely because the restaurants downtown are just too good. Like, I need that opportunity to eat whatever they're going to serve me. If they have something to give me, I'm going to eat it. But yeah, the food downtown is just, what a treat. Yeah.
Oh, I know. Just all over.
I know.
All over
Anywhere.
the city. I'm going to give a shameless plug to a vegan restaurant that I go to, the Neon Tiger.
Yep. You told us about that the other night. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
So good.
Can't wait to try that one.
Yeah, the vegan chocolate cake.
Yeah.
Change your life for sure.
Damn.
Cool. Well, all right. So what is something, okay, we just found out you're somewhat vegan, vegetarian and all that. What is something else about you that not a lot of people know about?
Oh, goodness. I always bring this up. Actually, I just did a post, so I think a lot of people know now. But I used to do MMA when I was in Birmingham, Alabama for 5 years. I mean, like serious MMA, and my husband did it with me. And it was one of those things where I was going to go start CrossFit, and he was going to go do this MMA, whatever it was. I had no idea what it was at the time, because this is 2000, probably 2007, 2006.
Okay.
And so UFC was getting big. That's what he wanted to do, was go to a nasty, dirty gym with a garage door and just hanging out with some guys. And I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to go to CrossFit. It's this brand new thing on the street, and I want to go try it. So I went and tried a class, and it was cool, challenged me. But the guy that was letting me do my free initial class, he's like, hey, you beat everybody for the day. And I was the last class. And I was like, oh, that's so cool. He goes, you belong in here. This is your thing.
This is your thing.
I was like, yeah, I think you're right. And then I thought about it, and I'm like, well, if I beat everybody on my first day, maybe there's not a lot of growth for me there. So, and CrossFit has come a long way. It's gotten a lot more competitive. A lot more people are trying it. But that is what my mindset was maybe I don't want to do something where I'm already walking in as one of the top dogs. So I go and try an MMA class. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh. I'm like, this is where I need to be. And I was the only woman that was in that class. My husband couldn't come because of conflict with the schedule. So I'm like, I'm timid. I don't know what's going on. All the guys seem to know what they're doing, which is intimidating for a woman to walk into a new atmosphere. You're the only one there, and everybody else seems to just know what they're doing. Mm-hmm. And after about 20 minutes, I realized, oh, I'm not doing too bad. Like I'm picking this up okay. And so every class after that was just an education. And I always say this, I'm like, if you have a daughter and you want to give her a gift, put her in some kind of battle, what is the word? Some kind of fitness that is defensive.
Yes.
Because one of the things that I look back at, it was sparring with some of these guys, being punched square in the face and still having to think through it instead of shutting down.
Right.
I don't think a lot of women have that experience. And so if they ever meet that in real life, it's over. But if you're able to train like that and kind of just get used to that, I think just in life, that's powerful. So, but
most
yeah,
definitely.
That's something that a lot of people don't know about me, is that I have that background. And it was only 5 years of my life, but it was a dedicated 5 years that I treasure.
That is so cool. So you know the moves. Do you watch, like, are you going to watch the fight this weekend?
No, when we were in it because a lot of our friends were fighting in the UFC, which was really cool. We got to kind of prep them before they went and fought. But yeah, since we've been out of it, we kind of fell out of it a little bit.
Okay. Very cool. I know Birmingham, that's kind of where Iron Tribe started.
Is it? I didn't know that. Okay.
Yep. So, but anyway, so that's on the whole, in the fitness realm, right? Yep. That's where they started.
They brand, yeah.
Yep, for sure. MMA, dance team.
Yeah.
And let's see. And then you played a little bit of soccer.
Mm-hmm. Surf and skateboard.
And I know what I want to touch on. I love that you like empower women,
Mm-hmm.
right? And you do all this stuff. I mean, it's not just that. It's like you're getting them to move. You're empowering them, and you're a mother of 2. You work at a very high level sales job.
Yeah.
I can imagine. I've interviewed for those positions before, and not fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
it's a grind. It's what have you done for me lately? You know?
Yeah, definitely. So, but how you round it all out, and and it shows with your relationship with your husband too, is like you make that a point in what you're putting out, your content as well. It's just like try to hit all 4 quadrants of your life.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And
it's tough. I mean, I'm also the type that I pile a lot of things onto my plate. I'm a people pleaser. So that's one of the things that I'm learning. I'm always trying to
same here.
I'm always trying to like self-development's huge for me. And one of the things that I'm working through right now is I give way too much of myself, and then there's not anything left for me. Right. So, I'm working through that. But, I started this app, and it takes up a good chunk of time. It's all after work. It's all, I've scheduled it out. But it does take extra time out. So then it's like, well, where am I taking time away to make sure I'm getting that time? So it ends up being my friends. I don't see them as much, my extended family, and those are the things that I'm like, okay, what's important? So as a business owner and somebody who's working for a company and a devoted wife and mother, I have to constantly think about these things of, how am I balancing things out so that I'm still pouring into my own cup?
Right.
So that's where I am right now, which I love everything that I do so much, though I don't want to let any of it go. Yeah.
No, I totally get that.
Yeah.
But self-care is really big.
It is.
For sure.
It is, yeah.
And yoga has been that for me. I don't know about you, but that's been a savior for me.
We talked a lot about yoga. So I had always been into stuff like MMA, surfing, things that are very aggressive and very masculine in a way. You have this masculine energy where you just want to go in there and sling stuff around and be powerful and strong. The thing that I found through yoga, which it's another one of those where you kind of walk in a little bit intimidated because you don't know what the etiquette is. You don't know how well you're going to do. So after I got over that, and that probably took 2-3 years of me dabbling. I'd go to a class and then wouldn't go back for 6 months and try another one. And then finally you get into a place where something hits you and you go, wow, this is therapeutic and I'm comfortable in this class. Nobody's worrying about what Jenny Fisher's doing next to me. She's doing her thing, I'm doing mine. And once you realize that, yoga becomes this practice that's very, very inward. Everything else that I do is so expression outward. Yep. And yoga is, you're able to just think about your breath and really concentrate on yourself. So when I'm having one of those days, for example, I think Wednesday was one of those days. I was like, I need that medicine. I need to go to a yoga class. I went to Charleston Power Yoga. I think it's the class that I took. Mm-hmm. And it is therapeutic. Yep. Yep,
most definitely. I've loved it. It has changed the game for me. It's just mobility-wise and things like that too, because big CrossFitter myself, and I used to be just bodybuilder guy.
Really?
Totally just bodybuild lifting type of thing, and then I tried CrossFit for the first time, and all of a sudden I started seeing like layers of fat like disappear so rapidly. I was just like
function like an athlete.
Yeah, and I was like, I missed that. Yeah. And then there was competition, and things like that. So that was it was a lot of fun for me.
Awesome though
sure.
that you found that balance in yoga and everything. And I think that's the maturity that I came to was I got to have this balance. And that's what my entire adult life. And when I say that, I say after about 35, everything is falling into a balance that I wasn't even expecting. It's like I tried so hard in my younger years to balance. You got to get balanced. You got to do this. You got to do that. And my approach to that was pushing it to the extreme. I've got to restrict all this stuff to finally get to balance instead of just let go. Just don't restrict, but modify or be in moderation with everything. And it took years of maturity. And honestly, it took being busy to not care about that stuff as much and not making it such a priority in my mind constantly. So yeah, I mean, that's the thing that I hope for anybody trying to find their fitness is try to go for the balance more than those far polarizing options.
It's like the New Year's Day, the New Year's resolutions, right? They're just like, I'm going to go and I'm going to get in shape and I'm going to work out for like 8 hours. And then they can't move for, a week and a half because they're so sore, right? And so, just taking it easy.
Demoralizing, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, completely. Yeah, so it's creating space is what's really cool, is what you can push hard, come back a little bit, create that space, realize what you've created, and then push again. Yep. And it happens in everything. I mean, it happens, of course, in athletics, sports, work. Like, for instance, everybody has a governor, right? Everybody has a governor where they have an idle speed that just works for them and where they're comfortable. But if you find yourself, you want to change, you want a better life, you want to better yourself, you're going to have to push that further. You're going to have to push past it.
I always say it's, at least with fitness, with my app, I'm like, we're challenging yourself without injuring yourself. There is this wall that you're going to get to where you're like, I'm pretty comfortable right here. But you could just slightly step over that wall where you're not pushing yourself to injure anything. You're not trying to show off for anybody. You're just try one more. Just try one extra thing and see how that feels and kind of stair step yourself through that comfort zone to get to those challenging spots. And then eventually that becomes comfortable, and I like that more so than I'm going to be comfortable, but then I'm going to rev it up real hard and then I'm going to pull it back. I like more of that stair step, find your new limits, find that new threshold that you're comfortable with.
Okay. Yeah. So what kind of workouts can people find on the app? Like if you could kind of like maybe put them in quadrants or something like that.
It's actually extremely focused in that way. And when I was designing it, I didn't want to just have another, knocking Beachbody or any of those onlines, but I didn't want to just have another workout. I wanted to have women that weren't maybe familiar with training to actually have a place to train themselves. And what I mean by that is go in with an intention to do something and get better at it. So the 6 elements of fitness that you can find on Get Salty are strength and power, agility, and muscular endurance, and then balance and flexibility. So all 6 of those are encompassed in 3 different ways. One of them is powerlifting, like heavy resistance. Right.
Lifting heavy.
Yep, because you've got to build onto that muscle. You're not going to get big and bulky, but you've got to work on building that muscle tone. And then you've got agility and muscular endurance, which is going to be a little more of the cardio hit, challenging your cardiorespiratory system, and just muscular endurance and those things. And then finally, you'll go into the balance and flexibility, which I'm not a yoga instructor, so we don't do yoga, but we do mobility, functional movements, low impact, really no equipment in those. And it's very flow and just moving your body in weird ways that challenges range of motion and balance.
Awesome. It sounds like it's pretty user-friendly as well.
Yeah, I try to make it. So when I first started, I just put up a ton of 36-minute sessions that were broken down into those 3 blocks that I just mentioned. And you can go on and follow along doing that all you want. But then I realized that people wanted very structured beginning and ending things, which I don't have that mentality. I want to just kind of go, this is my lifestyle now. However, if I'm new to this lifestyle, that's not the most appealing. People want, okay, I'm going to start here. This is my finish line. This is what I have to look forward to. So I took that and that feedback and I went, okay, let's start doing monthly challenges. So now we do monthly challenges. There's an accountability coaching portion of it if they want to check in with me and say, I did this, I didn't do that. But we will start at the beginning of the month and end on the end of the month. And throughout those 4 weeks, there are things to check in on to make sure that you're actually training and growing as an athlete. And I always say athlete. Everybody's like, what kind of athlete am I? I'm like, you're an everyday athlete. There are things throughout. You have to pick your child up off the ground. You have to get on the floor and get under the couch when you're sweeping sometimes. You are moving in ways that are athletic. You just don't think about it.
Yeah, functional fitness.
Exactly.
They're the moms out there, moving the kids out of the shopping cart.
Carrying that freaking
all that stuff.
The car seat. Those things are 50 pounds. I'm looking at this 100-pound mom carrying this 50-pound car seat, and I'm like, honey, It's ridiculous. But yes, that right there is functional fitness.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, absolutely. Yeah, I think it's awesome. I think it's great that you're made your own app, getting out there, speaking to the public, and what I think is just really cool too, and why I've become such a fan is that I think you're just come across as so authentic. You're you.
Well, thank you.
You seem like you're just you. And
sometimes I overshare.
That's okay, but you know
All
what?
the
People
time.
like that. People like real. There's so much of this stuff out there.
Yeah.
You know how many? I mean, I know I have kids, right? I have a teenage daughter. I see all the stuff she follows, the TikToks and all the duck faces, and that's not even a thing anymore, I don't think. But I see all of that.
Sure.
You know, and just people want real.
Yeah, I think somebody was asking me about that. I go, I feel like I just don't have an ability to lie. Like if I put on a facade, it would be broken pretty quick. People would be like, yeah, that wasn't her. I got that. So I have no excuse but to be real. But the other thing that I've realized is when I show this vulnerability or this less attractive side, I should say, of myself, my real life, I get responses back from people like, that made me feel better about myself to see that you are going through a very similar thing. Right. And again, being a people pleaser, that fills me that I can help somebody in the middle of freaking Idaho because I showed a little bit of my cellulite. You know, yes, I am ripped. I have a very low body fat, but yeah, I still have cellulite too. It's cool. And I like to show that stuff just because it empowers me too. Let's be honest. I'm very selfish with this stuff too. I put the stuff out there that I know is going to help other people, but it still feeds me too. So, but yeah, thank you for that. And I also appreciate you guys putting up with my sense of humor because my husband does not get it. So I have to have this outlet. So thanks for that.
No, absolutely. All right. Is there anything that's coming up for Get Salty app or anything that you're super excited about that might be released here soon?
We just started the Salty July accountability, which is going amazing. We're doing a fit test every week, which sounds awful, but it's super fun. It's something to kind of gauge how you're doing. And by week 4, we're all going to celebrate what we're doing. Yeah. We will be starting another one in August, but I've been starting how I got into fitness, like training classes, was cardio hip hop.
Okay.
So I've started releasing some of those, and I've gotten really good responses. I'm like, sweet. So some cool things on Get Salty. You can always come in at any time and join us, but we'll be starting another one in August, the first week. And if anybody's listening, because I know I don't want to hire a trainer I've never met, never heard. I just heard Jenny on some podcast. I don't know her, but it sounds interesting. So if anybody out there is interested in trying it, use Lively, Lively, as a code for 1 month free on me. And
awesome.
Come get to know me because it is a lot of my personality coaching you. That's why people come back, is I really do try to motivate you and drive you through in a very gentle, like open atmosphere of you feeling very comfortable about who you are.
That's so cool. And I've got a story, guys. It's like when I reached out to you and asked you to come to a yoga class, I actually had some friend from college or high school or something like that go,
Sarah?
Yeah. And she's just like,
I saw that
you
comment.
know FitFishMom?
Yeah, like, she's one of my Salt Squad. That's what we call them, Salt Squad.
So that is so cool, right?
I train her. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Your reach is everywhere.
It's funny. I just met a girl yesterday, and she goes, she looked at my thing. She was like, "Oh my gosh, my friend in Seattle follows you." And I went, "That is so cool." It's really neat.
Well, cool. Where is the best place to find you? The Get Salty app. I'm sure it's on iTunes.
Yep. iTunes, and
the App
Google
Store,
Play.
any App Store.
Yeah,
it's
like on Android and iOS, and then you can find me on any social media just about at FitFishMom. And that's where I am.
FitFishMom, thank you so much for coming in. This was awesome. I really enjoyed it. Your energy shines through in everything that you do.
Thanks for putting up with me. I appreciate it.
No, I love it. Thank you so much.
Hey y'all, that's a wrap on today's episode. Thanks so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to like or follow or subscribe, whatever platform you're on, just hit the button to make sure you don't miss any future episodes.
Yep, and please help us grow the channel by sharing it with someone else who might enjoy it as well. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.